Today we're going to be graphing inequalities. We have previously graphed equations in the slope-intercept form, but now we're going to be graphing some inequalities. So here's your main point. How are you actually going to graph the inequality? Well, we have 3 steps which you must write down in your notes. So, step 1, solve for y. You're going to put that in slope-intercept form. Step 2, once you have it in slope-intercept form, you're then going to graph the line. So if you have a greater than or less than, you're going to use a dashed line. If you have a greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, you're going to use a solid line when you graph it. Step 3. Once you have put it in the y equals mx plus b form, once you've graphed it, you're then going to shade half of the plane. When in your y equals mx plus b, if y is greater than, then you're going to shade the half that contains the greater y's. In the examples, I'll go through that a little bit more. If its y is less than whatever it is, then shade the half that contains the lesser y's. Again, I'll show you in the example. So please make sure that you write this word for word. Write down everything down. So here we have an example. I want you to graph 3x plus y is less than 2. So I have our quick little steps over here for us to look at. Now, step 1, solve for y. With this, basically I mean move everything over to the right, or move everything away from the y. Think of this less than as an equal sign. So when we do that, we would have to subtract 3x from both sides. So then we would have y is less than negative 3x plus 2. So we solved for y. Y is less than negative 3x plus 2. The next step, after we did the step 1, step 2, graph this line. So think of this just like an equal sign. I want to graph y is equal to negative 3x plus 2. So on 2 is crossing on the y-axis at 2. From here, we write this as a fraction, so it'd be negative 3 over 1. So we're going to, from the 2, go down 3, 2, 3, to the right 1. So we're going to have a point at 1 comma negative 1. So now we have our 2 points. We draw the line. Remember, when we draw the line, if it is since it is less than, it's not equal to, you have to draw a dashed line. This is showing that it's not going to be equal to anything on this point. So we draw the dashed line. Now that we graphed it, step 3 is we have to shade it. We are either going to shade everything over here to the right of the line or everything over here to the left of the line. So think of it like this. We have y is less than something. So y is less than. I like to look at the y-axis. I want everything that is less than less than this line. So if it's greater than this line, it would be anything that's on the line above the y. But I want everything that's less than y. I want all the negative numbers. So with this, I would shade all of the negative numbers. So from here, everything is shaded. So this is our final answer. We have everything. So this is y is less than negative 3x plus 2. Everything to the left of this line, or below this line, is being shaded. I understand this is a complicated process, but please take your time, follow these steps. Alright, so now it's your turn. I want you to make sure that you look at your steps on how to do this, and I want you to graph x plus 5y is less than or equal to 10. So pause the video, unpause the video when you're ready to see what I have done. Alright, so remember we have our steps. I left them blank because I wanted you to look back at your notes. So the step 1, remember I need you to put it in y equals mx plus b form. So if we have x plus 5y is less than or equal to 10. So I will move x over to the right first. So then we just have 5y is less than or equal to negative x plus 10. I then need to get y by itself. So I'm going to divide by 5. So I divide that by 5, divide this by 5, those cancel. So y is less than or equal to, remember this is a 1, so it'd be a negative 1/5 x plus 10 divided by 5 is 2. So now we have our equation of y is less than or equal to negative 1/5 x plus 2. Step 2. Graph it. Graph that line. So on the y-intercept will be at 2. From here, the slope is negative 1/5. So we start at the y-intercept, go down 1, to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to put a point right here. Next thing, we have to draw our line. Now remember, this is equal to, less than or equal to. Since it's equal to, we are going to draw a solid line. So from here, we'll just draw a solid line and connect it. There we go. Now, step 2 is finished. So we did step 1 is done, step 2 is done. Step 3, all that was left is we have to shade it. Now think, we need y is less than or equal to. So y is less than the line. So I want, since it's less than, I want all of the y's that are less than the line. So I want all the negative numbers. So with this, all we have to do, shade everything that is below the line. So from here, this is our final answer. We have our line that is a solid line and everything is shaded below it. Thus, this is our final answer. Time for a quick little review. We have our 3 steps. First step, Put the inequality in a y equals mx plus b form. Step 2, you need to plot the line. Be careful with the dashed or the solid line. Step 3, you need to shade the correct area. If y is less than, then you need to shade where all of the y negative numbers. If y is greater than, you need to shade above the line where all of the positive y numbers are. So please take your time with this. I know there's going to be a lot of graphing, but please take your time with this.